nice and tight. Ah! Into the curb edge. Whoa, I'm running. No, get back on track. Ah, screws up. Big time, Marcel. What are you doing? Got your AMSOIL racing grease again, synthetic grease. And we're going to put it into the seal so it creates a water barrier in the seal, and there's always grease to pull on when it wants it. Synthetic grease. I don't know why everybody doesn't think to use synthetic. They use synthetic engine oil. How smart is it to use grease? Like, so easy to think of that. I never had to replace any of these. This is of course a brand new wheel, but I never had to replace any bearings ever using AMSOIL grease. And the AMSOIL chain lube extends the life of your chain. I've been able to get a few seasons out of a chain when everybody's like, their chains are breaking and snapping after a year sometimes. Hey guys, good morning. Today is a special day because my Nitron racing shocks arrived. This is one of two. I'll probably need names for my shocks because they're so sweet. I am super impressed with this Nitron racing shock. Like, I'm in awe of the quality. It's freaking amazing. I mean, stupid lawnmower outside. Hold on a second. People mowing their lawns. Jesus. Okay. So I've run and owned Öhlins, Penske, Bitubo, and of course all the OEMs. And I've studied them, I've used them, I've beat on them, and this thing has got to be the nicest looking I've just ever come across. I mean, yeah, the Öhlins and the Bitubo and the Penske, they all look nice and feel sturdy, but this is titanium components, solid anodized aluminum, CNC machined. Everything is bolted together. There's no casting, there's nothing. Everything is CNC, and I wanted to show you like the clickers, how awesome they are, because that was a huge, oh, my phone's going off, YouTube's probably comments or text. And so here's the rebound clicker at the bottom, and I was just, as soon as I touched it and turned it, I was like, wow. Often there's an issue at the track, is like, I'm trying to count my clicks, and I'm like, I didn't hear it or I didn't feel the notch, and then I'm like, I have to start over again, and you're like, it's loud, and you're dealing with crap all the time. So, even with a lawnmower in the background, 1, 2, that's 11 clicks. 1. It's that simple. Now let's move on to the preload. I was really impressed with this. My Öhlins one I have for the Cowie is just plastic and gets worn down and just looks like crap and feels like crap. The clicks are horrible. You're not sure where it does. I already checked it out. This thing is at 22 stock. Oh, Moto Kitty, over here. And so just to go off. 1. It has a nice solid notch. Boom, there's a notch there. 1, and boom, you can feel it just stops. It's very solid. 2 clevises. And that'll be my measurement. And we're at 4 millimeters. Alright, and this is the other racing shock. This one has a 550 spring and the other one's a 525, so I can just switch shocks and not have to just switch springs right away. This one's, so then they'll look the different spring colors, and just so I know I can switch quicker. CNC machined. Ready. Okay, let's check out what the settings are on this one. 12 and 10, yeah. I just found they actually made a service record for me. And it says those very numbers. Okay. 12 is rebound, 10 is low speed. It says high speed is 8. Yeah, back to 22. There we go. And that, I don't know if you can see, it's just this collar right here. It pushed that down that many millimeters. It's 22 turns. It was like, what is that, like 4 or 5 millimeters. We're going to begin the process. I got my pit bull stands. They obviously don't fit on here so well, so I got them taped down. And we got to take the rear wheel off so we can drop the swing arm. I'm going to raise this guy up a little bit. Oh, it's tight. You always torque this stuff way up high. So this is the bolt. I'm trying to loosen up counterclockwise. There we go. The whole thing is spade. So I got to get to the other side. Okay, so that one's loose. And now we need to loosen the shock, which is a 16. Again, this one's not as bad. See, if I remove the rear stand, the bike's gonna float in the air. See, and it's not on the stand, right? But first thing I want to do is remove the rear wheel. Tight fittings until you get it worked in a bit. Okay. Now, with the wheel out, we want to take the load off of the suspension. By doing that, we put it onto the solid rear sets and off the suspension. So now the suspension is loose because I loosened those bolts up. I'll just leave that like that for now. There's the bolt. There's the nut for the shock, which gets hit on the exhaust. I might have to remove the exhaust. We'll see after we remove this thing. Hello? What are you doing?
And I'm here to take a look.
You gonna hang out?
I have to go, but I'll come back.
That one. Can you grab the end with the handle? Grab the handle. Push up just slightly. Just like
Push up which
up,
way?
just down, push down. No, just slightly. Back off. Okay, off, let it go. Off, right there. No, up a little bit. No, off. Back off. It's just you're finding the sweet spot. You don't get it? Like, right there. The spot where there's no pressure on.
That's a sweet spot.
The spot where there's no pressure on me.
Okay. Can I let it go now?
No.
What do you want? Oh no, it's all... I really have to go, so...
I'm going to put it back up.
Sorry?
Yep.
Just busy. Don't have time for a sweet spot.
Okay, so now the link's off. Get your highly trained helper to help you with that, and so now I can get the bolt out the back without taking the exhaust off. So that worked out that way. Try to remember which way you put them in, but it won't matter too much in the end. So then that link, and then usually we take the shock out the top. So that's why we lower. Oh, I got to lower that. It's hitting the shock, that suspension, because I need to make room. I need to drop the swing arm. So that's these cables. Obviously, need to have enough slack. Or I'll just take them out completely, so there's no slack issue. And when we take a little test, when we drop it down, you're looking for what's impeding it. It's going to be the exhaust. The swing arm sits on the muffler. But is that enough to get the shock in and out? I'm just going to remove the exhaust so I don't have to question it. There's the muffler. Away. So now this thing should be able to drop lower, and something else will be the limiting factor. Keep an eye on it so you don't wreck anything. Cables pulling the brake. The brake's over here, it's hovering. Oh, perfect. So right down to the ground. See how much access I have now? Can you see? Yes, you can. Now the only thing left is to unbolt the shock. I shouldn't have put this bodywork side paneling back on. There, shock bolts out. It's not coming out very easily. It's so long. Okay, well I've identified another area that it's actually still, I could lower it a little more if I got rid of this freaking muffler headers here, the link pipe. So I'm going to try that as well. See if it makes a difference. Just so I know that I'm not tangled up on it for that reason alone. And pull out this link. That's what. It's going to be really hard to change the shock on the track based on these circumstances. Okay, now the freaking more stuff coming out. Now let's lower this down again. Better not have any issues binding this. Okay, that made the difference. I just had enough room to get out the side. So you can see if you remove the subframe, could come up, you know, life would be a lot easier. I got the shock. Let's get her in now. Everything is all protected. Just drop her in. And with these shocks, I'm running the eccentric nut to have the least ride height, so it's not jacked up, because you can turn it upside down and jack it up more. So the hole is at the top of the eccentric. Okay, and this, of course, oh, there's a complication. Normally the subframe would have a peg bolt. This subframe does not on this side. Ay, ay, ay. So I gotta figure out a way to zip tie it or mount it somehow. Unless I can go to this side. Oh, I can. Oh, perfect. Perfect, perfect. So I'll throw that behind that bolt. That seems like a good spot. We'll see how that goes. We'll pull off the protective cover and bam! Pretty sweet spot for the hydraulic preload. Okay, so Marianne, she can like go up and down with the swing arm height, and it just makes life easier. Trying to do it by yourself is a little tougher. And so I can align the bolt into the shock, the clevis, I believe. And I could put it in the other direction, might be actually easier to get out in the future because the exhaust is in the way here. So I'm going to switch directions on that. And of course use some NECs. Next we're going to put the trailing arms here, pull up the long. And this is where you got to adjust so it's a tight fit. And it'll block the shock as well, so I gotta tighten the shock first. So, hold that side and you tighten this side, the nut side. Oops. Oopsies. Okay. And you drop her down a little bit. Yeah, pick her up, keep going. And slowly, slowly, keep going, and a little more. There we go, okay. You can put her back up. And so now we got access. Remove the excess grease because I re-greased everything. And tighten her up, and then we'll put the wheel on and tighten everything up. We're good to go. We got the wheel, and the shock's tight, and I'm just going to put the wheel back on. Come in here at an angle. Drop her down, don't lose the spacer. Line up the disc brake with the pads. Spacer pushed in. There we go. Okay, chain on. And then simply got this lift it into position. There we go. Put the nut on.